Good afternoon, members of the board. We are here to discuss the strategic plan of expansion for Rejuvenated Spas Incorporated. I, along with my fellow team members, Hengjia, Kimberly, Nicholas, and Helena, will be discussing the strategic options and our decision for expansion, our suggestion for expansion. To begin with, we suggest that you perform a full financial consolidation of RSI and Lavish Spas. Furthermore, we suggest that you develop a franchise of day spas as intended, as well as pursue a partnership with Forevermore Fit Limited. At this time, we believe it's in the best interests of RSI to forego the opportunity of purchasing Pure Substances Incorporated. Now, the way that we made our decision is we follow these main factors. Does the option meet the strategic, does the option meet the vision and mission of RSI? We need the strategic option to be in line with the company's strategy and objectives. Does the option improve brand recognition? We would like to see the company grow and also like to be in a position to sell RSI in the future. Improving customer awareness and loyalty will facilitate both goals for the board. Does the decision meet growth objectives? The strategic options implemented must be in line with the board's objective to grow the business. And does the option meet constraints and targets put in place? We need the strategic option to positively impact the financial results of the company. As well, the bank has put specific covenants in place to ensure that the company remains financially viable. The options that we choose to undertake must be in line with these constraints and positively impact the company's profitability. Now I'd like to introduce Hengjia, who will be discussing the option of consolidation of RSI and Lavish Spas. Hengjia?
Okay, thanks. So I'll talk about the first option, which is consolidation of RSI and Lavish. We have determined the pros is going to be as follows. The first one is consistent with Sally's expansion mandate. Number two is the two operations currently have different vision and mission. So consolidating the two may strengthen a cohesive strategy as a whole. Number three, we think consolidating the two will result in cost saving in several areas such as administration, IT, accounting, things like that. And then lastly, we thought by providing a consolidated financial statement will be a better view of the company. And then we have determined the cons. Number one is two companies have very different operations. So staff in Lavish may not have the expertise to perform work in RSI and vice versa. Number two, Lavish currently has a bonus program, Lavish currently has a bonus program, whereas RSI doesn't. That may result upsetting the RSI employees. Number three, currently two companies that have very different accounting policies, so it makes it very hard to combine the two in terms of the accounting policies. In terms of quantitative analysis, we have found that actually the consolidated financial statements looks worse when it's compared to the financial statement looks individually. That's mainly due to different accounting policies and accounting selections. So our recommendations follows. First one is to combine only the operational matters but not the core business. Number two, which is to report to Sally the whole consolidation process at the beginning bi-weekly and later by monthly to ensure the process is very smooth. Number three is to have a standardized company-wide bonus program, which Lavish used to have, but RSI doesn't. So number four, we recommend to standardize the accounting system that will ensure the cost saving by about 15%. Number five, we strongly recommend they can be adherence to ASPE for governance purposes. And eventually, we recommend to update the vision and mission statements. And now I'll pass it to Kim to talk about strategic option 2.
Thanks, Hengjia. So the next option available to RSI is to open a chain of massage training centers within the fitness centers that are owned by Forevermore Fit Limited. The benefits of this option include expanding RSI's business without assuming all of the risk, access to a health-conscious customer base, promote staff retention and flexibility through job rotation and cross-training, and additional financial stability through diversifying their operations. The cons of this strategy is that there's a lack of brand promotion for RSI as a whole, as they're currently not being promoted in the massage training centers. There's a very high dependency on FFL, as the centers will be housed in their existing facilities. There's potential expenses incurred to configure the business and set up the massage training centers, and there will be due diligence work required on FFL. From a quantitative perspective, we expect to see net profits to RSI in the first year of $183,000. This is based on an initial investment of $47,000, giving us a return on investment of 389%. In the subsequent years, when all 25 centers are operational, we expect to see an initial investment of $163,000. That's to open all 25 centers, net profits of $846,000, giving us an overall return on investment of 403%. When we evaluate this against our decision criteria, we see that this option does meet the vision and mission, the growth objectives, the constraints and targets, and the resources, but it does not, however, improve brand recognition for RSI. So our recommendation then is to pursue the massage training centers. We recommend opening 4 in the first year and the remaining 21 in the next 5 years. We recommend this be implemented as a partnership with FFL and consider incorporation down the road if it grows. And we also recommend including RSI's brand imaging at all MTC locations. So now I'll pass it off to Nick to discuss the remaining 2 alternatives.
Thanks, Kim. So I will now discuss the franchising option. Looking at the pros, we see that the project is in line with the board strategy for growth. 2, increase in market share. Expanding to these different geographical areas will allow us to attract and increase the market share in those areas. Reduction in financing cost and increase in reputation and brand name. Again, this ties into expanding to different areas, which hopefully will increase the reputation of RSI. Looking at the cons, we see that the quality of service possibly may suffer due to the fact that RSI will have difficulties monitoring the quality of service amongst these different franchisees, so this is a risk. Also, limited resources available. Currently, Sally has no experience dealing with this type of project, as well as has no time, and the other shareholders themselves are also busy. And the third con is that it's time-consuming and costly. This is in regards to the reviewing of franchising applications. So moving on to the quantitative analysis, we see that total revenues will increase and are correlated with the number of therapists attained. Total expenses as well increasing, and then net income overall positive and increasing. Again, the more therapists, the better net income. The investment required will be small and will generally increase depending on the number of therapists, and overall the rate of return is positive and it increases significantly, as you can see. Okay, so now moving on to financing. Upfront cost will be $250,000 for the operating manuals and marketing, with an additional $65,000 in the first year. Overall, financing should be relatively easily to RSI to obtain due to the amounts being very small. So evaluating evaluating this project using the decision criteria, we see that it meets the vision, improves brand recognition, meets the growth objective and constraints and targets. It doesn't meet resources. So overall, we recommend to postpone the financing for at least a year until RSI has the proper resources to pursue this type of project. Now acquiring, I will now discuss the acquisition of Pure Substance. So if we look at the pros, we see that there's vertical integration of supply chain, which will help reduce cost amongst the organizations and improve efficiencies, improve brand image. The products are organic and environmentally friendly, and also there's the opportunity to promote social and environmental responsibilities. Cons, limited experience. None of the management has experience in regards to this type of industry, manufacturing. Also, there could be unexpected costs, and at the same time, another con would be that condition to keep Pure operations in PEI could be an issue depending on the overall financial analysis. So now looking at the quantitative analysis, we see that earnings before taxes have significantly declined. So overall, we see that the financial statements are not financially sound. So now looking at the decision criteria, we see that it meets the growth and constraint targets, improves brand image recognition, but does not meet the resource or vision. So overall, we should not proceed with the acquisition of Pure Substance due to the fact that we don't have experience in this type of industry. There's time constraints with the other projects and also the deteriorating financials, which is risky. I will now pass it along to Helena, who will go over the operational issues.
I'll be talking about the updated vision and mission statement that we're recommending that RSI and Lavish adopt. So the new updated vision statement is to become a reputable leading spa for Canadian spa goers by growing RSI's brand geographically. So we want this to be an inspiring statement that will trickle down to management and employees. Next, the mission statement with an updated focus on exceptional client-centered spa and therapy services in an atmosphere that is relaxing and environmentally friendly and sustainable. So the purpose is clearly stated, how we're going to get there, and who we're servicing. I will also like to mention the governance, and our recommendation is that the board bring on Blair Cummings, who has the experience in finance, who will be able to guide RSI and Lavish in the right direction in terms of adopting accounting standards for private enterprises. And that is because the plans for expansion, in the plans for expansion, the adherence to ASPE will be crucial. We recommend adopting ASPE because it is the less rigorous of the two options as opposed to IFRS. It is widely accepted accounting standard for private enterprises, and the financial statements will have to be standardized in order to satisfy the needs of external funders. ASPE is also the standard that's recommended by the bank. Next, we would like to talk about the performance measures as one of the issues that has been identified. Currently, performance measures are not tied to RSI strategic objectives. They're not communicated effectively, and the implication is that employee behavior and decision-making does not tie into RSI's strategies and does not serve RSI's best interests. So we want to turn that around, and we want to turn around the lack of understanding of the ideal behaviors and what they should be. What we propose is measuring performance based on 4 dimensions: financial, customer, internal processes, learning, and growth. We want to ensure that the balanced scorecard that is implemented focuses on those 4 key areas and allows RSI to measure performance in order to target desired behaviors in those 4 key areas. And we believe that that will allow RSI to achieve its strategic objectives. So what we advise RSI to do is to update its current bonus plan and actually revise it, because the current bonus plan is based on measures that do not align with overall corporate goals. And we recommend creating an equitable bonus plan in the consolidated entity. A standardized bonus plan for both Lavish and RSI should have 2 separate levels: a management level with equity ownership incentive and non-management level with flexible work schedules and additional vacation. We feel that those incentives, separate from management and non-management, are the best ways in order to provide incentives for desired behavior. We have also calculated the expected cost increase, and it is 30% for RSI and 15% for Lavish. We feel that the cost is justified because we all know that experienced and qualified staff are scarce and rare, and we want to retain them. In the long term, retaining that staff is the best strategy, and the cost is thus justified. Thank you, and I will pass the presentation on to James to conclude and summarize it for us.
I just discussed. We recommend that you perform a financial consolidation on RSI and Lavish, pursue a partnership with Forevermore Fit Life, begin franchising operations in the next year, and do not acquire Pure Manufacturing at this time. Now I'd like to open the floor to the board of directors. If you have any questions, we'd be happy to answer them. Thank you.